TSF Entertainment.
Welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. This Retro CG in the building, and we are here to talk about Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 4 character descriptions. So, we are going to talk about some of the characters for Season 4. So, we're going to jump right into this thing. Leading the pack is Michael Rainey Jr., who plays Tariq St. Patrick. Tariq is a young man growing up on the streets of New York. The aftermath of his father's death, Tariq is now chosen to follow in his footsteps, shouldering the load of his family's drug business and becoming a crime lord in his own right. The aftermath of season three's treacherous finale finds Tariq St. Patrick outmatched, outgunned, after finding himself bested by those he placed trust in and his family lives threatened. Season four's Tariq is determined to never allow that to happen again. His plan is to crush everyone who went against him because the best way to stay safe in the game is to run the game. It's not enough to unalive his enemies. He's going to make them wish he had, granting them a fate far worse than death. Where we've seen Tariq dream of being free from the game last season, we now see Tariq determined to sit at the top of the pyramid because the only way to stay on top is to cripple anyone else's chances of climbing up from the bottom. So this version of Tariq is going to be more raw and uncut. He's going to do what he needs to do to win. So it's going to be interesting to see what challenges Tariq is going to face in this final season of Power Book 2 Ghosts. Next up, we have Mr. Brayden Weston. At the conclusion of season 3, with the fortune, the protection, and the false legitimacy of the Weston name now gone, Brayden Weston finally and spectacularly ended his 1 foot in and 1 foot out commitment to the game, where he bursted into Noma's warehouse spraying bullets to rescue Tariq. In season 4, we will explore Brayden's journey from a thrill-seeking son of privilege to becoming a more pragmatic man who deals drugs for necessity, not pleasure. And ultimately, he embraces the violence he'll need to survive this new life. So, we're going to see a transition in Brayden's character, unlike no other transition we've seen with Brayden. So, Brayden's going to become our Tommy Weston. Tommy Weston. Yeah, that's his new name. Tommy Egan Weston. Nah, but we're going to see Brayden turn into a more violent, more destructive character. So it's going to be interesting to see Brayden's journey as we finish out this final season of Power Book 2 Ghosts. Next up, we got a new character. We've got Detective Don Carter. Don Carter is a rising NYPD officer who was on track to become the police commissioner until his wife was unalived in a crossfire between rival drug gangs. Vowing to make the streets safer, Carter has traded in his tie for a Kevlar vest and now leads an elite NYPD drug task force that elicits concrete results against drug related violence. While his achievements are noteworthy of public recognition, nothing can bring back the the lost love of his life. So we've already been introduced to the character. We see that he is still grieving the loss of his wife. We also learned that his wife was unalive out in front of a hospital. So it's going to be interesting to see if they tie any of this back to OG Power. He seems to have a hard on for the St. Patrick family. He seems to have ties and connections with Paz. He seems to be on a crusade to avenge Agent Young's Paz son's death. So I think that Agent Carter is going to be like no other detective, law enforcement cop that we have seen in the Power universe. I think he may be the one that is actually going to take down the St. Patrick. So we'll see where this character takes us. Next up, we got Queen Bee herself, Miss Monet Tejada. At the end of season 3, Monet Tejada is unknowingly betrayed by her youngest children, Dru and Diana. Consequently, she's riddled with bullets, and her fate is left unknown, which we know she survives. As we enter into season 4, Monet continues to fight for her life while everyone else engages in war. While conscious and unconscious, we'll witness Monet's internal battle with her past via flashbacks, This will provide an insight into a side of Monet we've never seen, her origin story. So we get now our version of raising Monet. Faced with the reality of how her own actions have created the circumstances they are in today, Monet must now decide once and for all whether it's worth more to fight for the family business or for the family itself. So, if you've been catching our reviews, you'll know that one of the things that we are looking for is redemption with Monet's character. I think that she's on a path for forgiveness with her kids. So, we'll see if she gets enough time to achieve that goal, or is it just completely too late and everything is too far gone that she can't save it. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out for Monet. Next up, we got Davis McLean. In season 4, Davis McLean's flirtation with the dark side will become a full-blown love affair as he officially joins Tariq criminal enterprise. Davis begins the season in a dark place, reeling from the loss of his brother's unaliving and the S word. Then, to add insult to injury, he finds himself suspended from practicing law as his past professional behavior becomes under scrutiny by the Bar Association after Jenny Sullivan submits a letter questioning his ethics in an attempt to get him disbarred. As the Davis and Associates House of Cards collapse around him, he'll have to turn to more illegitimate means to earn an income and maintain his lifestyle. So Davis is going to be part of Tariq's organization this final season. It's going to be interesting to see what role he plays in Tariq's organization and just how far will Davis go. Will we see Davis catch a body? Will we see Davis do whatever it takes for him to stay on top and get that money? So we'll see how things turn out for Davis. Hopefully he doesn't get unalive. Next up, we have Hurricane Tejada. Kane Tejada. Kane begins season 4 with 2 guns and no fucks to give as his quest to avenge his mother's shooting reveals the true conspirators, Dru and Dirty Diana. Druana. But in a twist of fate and mercy, Monet orders Kane to stand down, asking him to leave his siblings unharmed. That contradiction of street code from the woman who made him a gangster and unalive her husband under the same circumstances of betrayal shatters Kane's monarchical image of Monet. Furthermore, his self image as her enforcer, Kane is left with this dilemma. So, who am I? Fortunately, Noma is more than happy to help him figure it out. So I think they were trying to set us up for a bit of a power struggle between Kane and Monet, but we've kind of been there, done that, seen that. So I think Kane is now going to be ushered in as Noma's number 2 in her organization because we know that Obi's time is up. So it's going to be interesting to see Kane's rise to power in Noma's organization. Next up, we got Dru Tejada. Dru Tejada. Druana. Dru begins season 4 aligned with Noma and his siblings as they go to war against Tariq and Brayden. But through a series of trials and revelations, Dru finds himself back where he started, wondering where, if anywhere, he fits into the business. A new unforeseen alliance gives Dru a taste of the power he's been vying for within his family. But with all it costs, Dru has to come to terms with whether this is what he wants at all. After losing 2 lovers and his father to the world they live in, Dru begins to wonder if there's any true peace waiting for him at the end of his journey. Dru, there is no peace waiting for you. There is a bullet waiting for you at the end of your journey. No peace for you, Dru. Next up, we got Dirty Diana Tejada herself. At the end of season 3, Diana and Dru's botched attempt to avenge the death of their father, Lorenzo, by unaliving the person responsible, their mother. Monet is just the first in a series of major life cataclysms Diana is about to experience. For Diana, season 4 is a season of emotional and physical turmoil that takes Diana from semi-trepidatious teen to a young woman trying to captain her own life. By the end of season 4, Diana makes a decision about the direction she'll ultimately take her life in as she finds herself morphing into the woman she's fought so desperately not to become, her mother. So we have learned that Diana is with child. She is pregnant. And we wonder if this pregnancy is going to lead Diana on her own path of redemption. She's done a lot of dirty deeds, and I feel like some of those dirty deeds are going to catch up with Dirty Diana. So her becoming a mother, will that change the outcome of Diana's fate, or will she suffer that fate regardless? Let's see. Next up, we have Miss Josefina Effie Morales. Entering season 4, Effie Morales is very aware that the gang will only end in one way. We've heard her tell that to other characters. So she doubles down on herself and her ultimate goal, a PhD in robotics from Stanford. And she needs to get to Stanford as soon as possible before she gets any deeper and finds it impossible for her to get out of that life. She lives by the code that there's only one way in, one way out, and that is with a bullet. With the help of her professor Bennett, she applies for a co-term program that will allow her to finish up her undergraduate degree and begin her PhD studies at Stanford. But once Effie is officially accepted and the future she's dreamt of is within reach, she questions whether or not she's ready to leave behind everything she knows for it. There's one thing we know for sure about Effie, and that she is a survivor. So it's going to be interesting to see if Miss Effie Morales is going to make it out, or does she suffer her own fate for her own choices? We know that she has betrayed Tariq several times. Will that catch up to Effie? Next up, we have Miss Noma. Noma is a woman who commands respect and control. At the end of season 3, she had both. She has solidified an army of lieutenants, but her deputy, Monet, has been shot, and Noma's in need of a new trustworthy number 2 because we know that it is not Obi. Thanks to Effie's warning, Noma's daughter, Anya Covington, has been hid from Tariq, but Noma wants Tariq unalive for even considering using Anna as bait to gain power over Noma. Season 4 finds Noma as a mother on a mission to keep her child and business safe. She believes that with herself in control, of course, both can mature nicely. However, there will be a few factors that Noma doesn't expect that come into play. To keep order, Noma has to keep everyone in check. One of those factors that she does not consider will be her daughter falling for Tariq. Well, her daughter becoming a love interest of Tariq. So that is going to be a big challenge for Noma to have to overcome. So it's going to be interesting to see if they get to take Noma out this season. Speaking of Anya Covington, played by Sydney Winbush, Anya joins the series as the daughter of the menacing drug lord. We just got finished talking about Noma, who does not know about her family's lifestyle, her family's work. She's also going to be Tariq's love interest. So we see that Anya is a bit of a spoiled rich kid. She's a little bratty, but she's also very aware that her mother is hiding something from her. So once she learns that her mother is responsible for her father's unaliving, will she turn on her mother and help Tariq take her out? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this character. Welcoming back to the Power Universe, we have Matea Conforti, who plays Alisa Marie Proctor, the daughter of the dearly departed Power antagonist Joe Proctor. We miss Joe Proctor. She has been mentioned several times in book 2. She will make her first proper on-screen appearance this season, season 4. We know that this can't be good for Tariq, so watch out, Tariq. Alisa Marie is coming for you. Next up, we got Seasoned Vet joining the cast, part of the extended Tejada family. We got Janet Stewart, played by the legendary, beautiful Miss Golden Brooks. She joined season 4 as the cousin of Monet Tejada. So she seems to have a very good relationship with Monet. She seems to be very close to the family. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of effect that Janet is going to have on Monet. What type of influence is she going to have, particularly on Diana and the rest of the family? So let's see where Janet's character takes us. Maybe we'll get some backstory with her as well about Zeke's upbringing as well. So go to Brooks, Janet Stewart. We like it. Next up, we have Mr. Aaron Dean Eisenberg, who plays Detective Nico Clatter. He is a NYPD detective working with Detective Carter's task force to clean up the streets of New York. We haven't really seen much of that character. We did get introduced to him on last week's episode, so I think he's going to help Carter get whatever he needs to get to help take down Tariq and the rest of the organizations out there on the streets. He's also joined by Detective Felicia Lewis, who's played by Allison Love. She is another NYPD officer working on Detective Carter's task force, and their goal is to hopefully end New York's city's long-running drug war. This task force might be able to get what some of the other task forces have not been able to do. So let's see how far they get. Next up, we have Taylor Robinson as Elle. She joins the cast as the lead singer of a hip-hop group at Tariq's college at Stansfield. So I think that light-skinned Keisha, a.k.a. Bruchandra, is going to be part of this hip-hop group. She's also rumored to be Brayden Weston's love interest. So there's a lot of rumors about this character already floating around in the Power universe. Is she a snitch? Is she a mold? Is she a plant? Is she here to try to get evidence for Detective Carter? And if she is, and Brayden finds out about it, will Brayden have what it takes to unalive her? If Brayden finds out that she is cooperating with the feds, Brayden will have to take her out. So let's see where this character takes us. All right, guys, that is it for our character descriptions. We know that there's plenty more new characters that we're probably going to get introduced. Some old characters. We got Kamal Tate's brothers coming back. We got Perla, Davis McLean's new lawyer. We saw a cameo of 2-Bit, Tasha. So we've got a lot of characters that are probably going to grace our screens throughout season 4. But these are some of the characters that I felt like we need to talk about, in particular their character descriptions. All right, guys, y'all make sure y'all tune in to the TSF Entertainment channel, the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit our like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all drop y'all comments and theories. Make sure y'all join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time as we do our full episode breakdowns and recaps. We appreciate all you guys, and we will see you guys in the next video.